One less monster around.
There's another of those scummy
One
beasts.
less monster around.
One less monster around.
Nothing to be had there.
One less monster around. One less monster around.
Nothing there.
One less monster around.
This ring here is Ring of Iron Skin. Gives you 3 weapon protection.
One less monster around.
Wait!
Now that should be all of the orcs.
Right. There we are. Now hit the road. This area is hot.
Thank you.
Don't get yourself eaten. That'd be a pity.
Farewell.
What are you doing here? I thought you were headed across the pass.
I just can't go on. Let me rest for a minute. I'll manage. Don't worry.
If you say so.
Just a little break.
Nothing to be had there. Nothing there.
Remember back then, when we met here for the first time? It's been ages. There was something else in this place. Damn, I just can't remember. Whatever. I shall go the rest of the way by myself. I have a few things to take care of before I can return to Corinus. Thank you, my friend. I'll see you in town.
So in a mercenary playthrough, I've shown that even if Diego dies here, he will still be alive in Corinus. The developers created like a failsafe in case if he dies on your escort. But I'm gonna let him live now. Okay, time to go back to the castle.
That was obvious. I agree with you completely. Nobody ever asks for my opinion.
Let's wait and see what happens. So why won't they listen to me? That's the first one. There've been all kinds of rumors.
Do you really think?
I want to buy Gorn's freedom.
Agreed. You can go to Gerald and tell him to release Gorn on my orders.
Those are all just rumors.
Tell me that isn't true.
Anything's possible. Let's
Don't
wait
have
and
to
see what
ask me
happens.
that.
I knew that would be a problem. It can't go on like this forever. There've been all kinds of rumors. Nobody ever asks me. I wouldn't be so sure.
Set Gorn free. That's an order from Commander Garand.
Kinds of rumors.
I've already been informed. Here's the key. You can go
I
in.
already thought as much. He didn't get that from me. I wouldn't. Nothing's ever gonna change that. I don't believe this is gonna change.
Enough of this lounging about. You're free.
It's about time somebody got me out of here. I certainly hadn't expected it to be you, though. It's damn good to see you.
Garand says you eat too much and he can no longer afford to feed you.
Now that you mention it, I could kill a couple of beers. Let's get out of here. I've seen enough of this cell.
Okay, see you with Milton.
Sure thing.
I knew that would be a problem. So why won't they listen to me? Who said that? Who said that? He didn't get that from me. I've got my own opinion about that. Bad business. There've been all kinds of rumors.
He really didn't deserve that.
Hey! Here, I bring you Tengrand's ring. It's supposed to protect you. Tengrand says he'll come and get it once he's back.
What? Do you know what ring that is? He got that ring as an award for his courage in battle. You say he wants to get it back? If it's the will of Innos, he is going to. If it's the will of Innos.
Show me.
for me. Do you really think?
I agree with you completely.
I couldn't care less.
I've freed Gorn.
Good. Then we should think about what happens next.
What are your plans?
I shall return. I will wait for a while, but now that Gorn is free, I can leave with him. It is more than necessary that Pyrokar learns of the situation here.
If you think so.
I hope that Lord Hagen will recognize the threat that emanates from this valley. Not to think of what will happen if the orcs come over the pass.
Well then, have a safe trip.
Listen, I've loafed around here long enough. It's time I saw something other than this valley. How did you get over the pass?
There's a path through the abandoned mine.
Good. I'll wait for the right moment and then I'm out of here.
Where will you go then?
I heard that Lee is still alive. I want to join up with him again.
We'll meet again.
You can count on it.
You already know what I think.
The things I could tell you.
He listened to the wrong people.
I wouldn't be so sure.
That's been as much. That's really not. Do you really think?
That from me.
I could really didn't deserve that.
I talked to Fayeth.
What has he got to tell me?
His people have mined 2 chests of ore.
2 chests? I don't need 2 chests. I need 200!
He wants me to tell you that he needs more men.
What? I'm supposed to send even more men to certain death? He can forget it!
About Silvestro's mining site.
Did you go see him? Did you talk to him?
Everyone's dead there. They were surprised by mine crawlers.
What about the ore? Do you know how much they've mined?
They managed to secure a few chests first. They're in a cave, along the path from the castle to the mining site.
Damn! Those were a lot of good men. May Inos have mercy on their
His
souls.
decision, wasn't it?
I've met Marcos.
And? What does he have to report? How much ore does he have for us?
4 chests. He's left the mining site to take the ore to safety. Now he's guarding the chests in a small valley behind the lines of orcs. He's asking for reinforcements, however.
What? Only 4 chests, and he left his mining site? Damn!
Path of virtue
That
is
isn't
long,
good.
rocky.
And now he wants more men? Well, fine. I'll send him 2 people. Damn!
No idea.
What's
You
going
tell me.
on out there? Has Beliar himself come to wipe us out? My men are almost all dead, and with the bit of ore we have, we can't even stop one orc, let alone an army! This expedition is doomed to failure.
What about the letter for Lord Hagen?
We have 10 crates of ore on the hull, and we've lost twice as many good men. You shall have your letter.
Like that.
Lord Hagen must hear of this. This valley is cursed. Evil abides here.
You don't have to tell me that.
What are you planning to do now?
I've tried everything. You're my only hope now. You and that Lord Hagen will send me reinforcements.
better.
We'll continue to stand firm and pray to Inos that he won't leave us despondent in this dark hour.
Can't rely on that.
That's exactly what I said.
Okay, time to go back.
That's exactly what I said.
The boys are still here.
Right, here we are. I shall go the rest of the way by myself. I have a few things to take care of before I can return to Corinus. Thank you, my friend. I'll see you in town.
Hey, you!
Now, unfortunately, you can't use Steel Energy on Seekers.
My master shall destroy you. Your pathetic parlor magic cannot save you.
Wait, he also has another dialogue about you being a magician. I want to get that one too.
Even as a magician, you cannot stop us.
So there's the dialogue.
There he is.
Now, I could kill Seekers with Ice Block and get some of their runes to either sell them or use them as a mage.
Hey, you're finally back. You have to go see Zardus right away. There's a problem.
That I certainly believe.
All hell's broken loose since you left. Talk to Zardus. He's waiting for you. Zardus gave me this rune for you. It'll help you get to him faster. We'll meet again there.
Or maybe I'll get some of the Seeker runes later for the showcase. We will see.
Hey, you! I've explored the unknown part of the island.
And what did you find?
It was all about a mighty artifact. The Claw of Beliar.
The Claw of Beliar? Where is it now? Do you have it on you?
Yes, here it is.
How very interesting. This weapon can be of great use to us, but it is also extremely dangerous. Take good care of yourself, and above all, don't lose it.
I'm back from the Valley of Mines.
High time, too. What did you see?
You were right. The land's been overrun by an entire army of the enemy. Orcs are besieging the castle, and dragons have laid whole areas to waste. It won't be long before they attack Corinus, if I'm not mistaken. Lester said you wanted to see me at once. What the hell has happened here in the meantime?
The enemy has learned who you really are, and that you're planning to get hold of the Eye of Enos. He has recognized the threat. It has forced him to leave his cover and openly attack. The game of hide and seek is over. Yesterday, nobody knew what the enemy's attack would look like. Now it has become only too obvious.
I was attacked by magicians in black robes.
The enemy has many faces. The Seekers are one of them. They're really the ones who prepare the ground for the enemy. They have taken up their positions in strategic places and are now only waiting for an opportunity to spring the trap. Stay out of their way. They are very powerful magical beings, and they will try to deter you at any cost.
I finally got the proof that Lord Hagen demanded of me.
What proof is that?
I received a letter from Garand, the commander of the Paladins in the Valley of Mines. In it, he asks for reinforcements.
That should be enough to convince that militant warhorse. Well done.
What will be the next step now?
Go and bring Lord Hagen the letter from Garand, so that he may grant you access to the Eye of Enos. Then go to the monastery and talk to Pyrokar. He must give you the eye. Nothing is more important than getting this artifact away to safety. Go now before it's too late. The enemy will also try to lay his hands on it.
Any new developments in the last few days?
Just go down the path to the city. If you run into a fellow with a black robe, then you'll know what's new.
Have the Black Robes come to see you yet?
Yeah, they've been here for a few days. If you ask me, they come straight from hell.
How are your sheep?
As if that would interest you at all. You have other problems.
My problems? What would you know about that?
You noble lords from the monastery should do something about these hooded fellows.
Hey, watch your mouth, buddy.
All you can do is talk big. The best thing would be if you went away.
Well, don't get all worked up.
Beat it.
Aren't you feeling well?
No, not at all. I've got this awful fever again. I should really go and see the town healer, but I'm too weak for that.
Can I help?
It would be wonderful if you could go to Vatras and get me my medicine. He'll know what is to be done. I can't do it anymore.
Hey, you! How's your farm?
I can't stand it anymore. All of a sudden, these fellows in black hoods showed up and posted themselves on the road and on my farm. Spent a long time talking to Vino, and then they disappeared with him. A short time later, my wife took deathly ill again. She spends most of the time just lying in bed. And that happens to her frequently. I'm falling apart here.
Have you talked to the men in black?
Sure. There was no way to prevent it. I think they're looking for someone.
Why don't you do anything about those black robes?
Well, I'd surely love to, but I saw how they burned one of the townspeople alive. Just like that. Why should I risk my life?
Why don't you take your wife to the healer?
We ought to go to the city to see Vatras about it. But I won't budge an inch from my farm as long as things are so chaotic here.
What was their business with Vino?
They didn't say. They just took him with them.
Where did they drag Vino off to?
They went up that hill with him.
Wait a minute. Lately, it's gotten a lot more dangers out here, and the field raiders are becoming a real plague.
So Vino is up there. I'm gonna deal with him later.
Good thing you're here. You need to help me.
Obvious all along.
What is this about?
A lot of things have changed since I left here. I have to get back on my feet somehow.
What's the problem?
I have to get into the upper quarter, but I'm not a citizen of the town, and I don't have enough money to bribe the guards. That's where you come in.
So you want me to lend you some gold?
Nonsense. I've got some gold. A whole lot of gold, even. Unfortunately, I don't have it with me. You need to go fetch my gold for me.
Really didn't deserve that.
What's in it for me?
Have I ever asked you what you could give me in return? We're friends. Shouldn't that be enough?
It can't go on like this forever.
Okay, I'll help you.
Well, listen. Back when the barrier was still in place, I hid a small treasure. It's been quite a while. That's why I forgot to take it with me. And I can't leave here at all at the moment. To cut a long story short, you must go to the Valley of Mines for me and fetch my gold.
I'm in enough trouble as it is.
Where's the gold hidden?
Directly at the trading square, above the abandoned mine. It's in a leather satchel. Spare yourself that comment. I know myself that we must have walked right past it. Just bring me the bag. But don't forget to check that it's the right one, so you don't walk all that way for nothing.
How can I recognize it?
It's full of gold. A whole lot of gold.
I agree with you completely.
Where did you get all that gold?
Am I the only one, then, who put some gold aside for himself in the Valley of Mines? Filching a few nuggets was a piece of cake, just in case we ever got out of there. Everybody was so keen on that ore that no one even cared for gold at the time.
That's not what I heard.
What are you planning to do with the gold?
I still have an account to settle with one of the merchants in the upper quarter. I need to take care of that. And then I'll be all set for a new career.
But he knew that all along.
I'll try to find your gold.
Just do it. That's enough for me.
I don't believe this is gonna change.
How's business?
Lousy. Somebody should have told me that Corinus has gone to the dogs in the meantime.
That's no news. I've only known the city like this.
You should have seen it a few years ago. You would have liked it then.
Hardly know who to believe these days.
I found your gold.
Great. Show me. Very good. Gerbrant had better watch out now. Listen, I still need to take care of the guards. I want you to take this letter to Gerbrant. He is one of the fat merchants in the upper quarter. Give him my regards. I'll meet you in front of Gerbrant's house then.
It's not what I heard.
I don't believe this is gonna change.
He never would have thought of that himself.
Nobody ever asked for my opinion.
That's all just gossip.
Diego says hello.
What? Who? What Diego?
And he wants me to give you this letter.
That can't be. No. I'm a goner. Is he in town then?
Who?
Diego, of course.
Yes, I'm gonna meet him here shortly.
Oh, this is the end then. All is lost. I've got no time. I need to get out of here. Quick! If he finds me here, I'm done for.
Now Lothar is gone, and we will never see him again. But before developers decided to take him out, they did make a line of dialogue for him. So let me import him. And if you talk
Wait
to
a
him,
minute. I have the proof. Here is the letter from Commander Garand.
So there really are dragons? I have done you an injustice. I shall pray to Innos for forgiveness for my behavior.
And there it is.
Nothing amazes me anymore.
I've been to the Valley of Mines.
And? How's the situation there?
The mines are all depleted. There's barely more than a few chests full of ore. It's hardly worth digging for that.
That can't be true. That means I'm ruined.
What about our deal?
Now, about your reward. Here, take this runestone.
Do you really believe?
How do you make a living now?
I'm ruined. I should have listened to my father and kept out of this mining business.
Do you really believe?
You've been selling weapons to the bandits.
But what makes you think that?
This list of merchandise that I took from a bandit bears your signature. I found this ring of the Overseas Traders Guild, Araxis, with the bandits. You're an overseas trader. And the swords which the bandits were carrying bore your initials. You can admit it now. I've blown your cover.
I didn't mean to do that, believe me. First, all they wanted from me was food supplies. Business was really slow. So I got involved with them. Then they became more aggressive and threatened to kill me if I didn't sell them the swords they wanted. You can't blame me for this. I'm a victim of circumstances.
I never knew that.
Oh, don't make me weep. You're pretty repulsive for someone who lives in the upper quarter. You'd sell your soul for a fistful of gold pieces.
I've got my expenses to cover. If I don't have cash, they're going to feed me to the mob from the harbor district.
That was no big deal.
The militia is going to deal with you.
You can't do this.
I should say I can. You'll be amazed.
Bye, Enos. I'm ruined.
Now, as a mage, you will get a quest that includes all the NPCs that have names in full caps. Like, look at Fernando's name. It has all big letters, compared to Citizen, Diego, Gerbrand. So all the NPCs with big letters will be included in this quest. And you started with this dialogue.
We see you, worm. You cannot escape us.
That will never change.
Nobody will learn anything.
All of these NPCs will have
No idea.
Almanac of the Possessed. I'm not gonna read it yet, but I will read it later
Inos deals out fair punishment.
to show you what it does.
That was obvious all along.
Oh man, my head.
That's all just...
You're possessed.
Go away, go already.
And there's more, believe me.
He would have never thought of that himself.
It had to happen sooner or later.
I'm no better off myself.
I bring you news from Garand. Here, he gave me this message for you.
Our situation is worse than I had feared, but report to me on the situation in the Valley of Mines.
The Paladins are holed up in the castle in the Valley of Mines, surrounded by orcs. There were many casualties in the prospecting operations, and there's barely any ore left. Well, I should say that without any help, the lads are lost. That's how it looks.
I shall find a way to rescue this expedition. You have done much for us. Inos will thank you.
I'm not all that interested in his gratitude. I want his eye.
Yes, of course, I stand by my word. Take this letter. It will open the monastery gates to you. Speak with Pyrokar, the highest fire magician, and show him this authorization. He will grant you access to the Eye of Inos. One more thing before you go. Take this rune as a token of my gratitude. It will take you safely back to the city whenever you want.
How's the situation?
I must find a way to rescue this expedition. We must do something against the dragons. Perhaps the Eye of Inos can save us all now.
The situation in the Valley of Mines is quite worrying, but we shall develop plans to get rid of the dangers and get our boys out of there along with the ore.
The path of virtue is long and rocky.
Do you really believe that?
The path of virtue is long and rocky.
I never knew that.
I'm in enough trouble as it is.
If I hadn't seen it with
He
my
really
own
should have
eyes.
known better.
Hey, you! I've got some special snapper claws for you.
Interesting.
My customer will be happy to hear that. I don't have the runestone here, but I know where it can be found.
believe that.
On your way from town to the inn, you'll pass under a
Who says
bridge.
things like that?
There, in a cave, a friend of mine has deposited a runestone in a chest. Here's the key.
That's what I've always said.
Show me your wares.
And it's going to get even worse.
Belt of Dexterity. I'll take
You'll
that,
say,
because I'm gonna need that.
go away, don't tell me that. He had better shut up.
across the land and chose...
I can't take care of everything for everybody.
He simply talks to you.
Hey, I've heard you were with the Paladins in the Valley of Mines. I'm impressed. You should take your time and browse my goods. Right now, I have a very special potion to offer.
Show me your wares.
It's my pleasure, Reverend Brother.
Who says things like that?
I don't need dexterity, but I'll take it. Mana, potions, absolutely.
Everybody knows by now.
There's more, believe me.
He had better shut up.
I hardly know what to believe anymore.
Now that's typical.
It had to happen sooner or later.
I delivered the letter.
Very good. How did Gerbrand take it?
He was rather shocked and made himself scarce right away.
I should think so. I'm afraid that, first of all, I need to attend to furnishing my new house. If I remember correctly, Gerbrand's taste is horrible.
The house is yours then?
Yes, from cellar to attic, with all the furnishings. Having spent several years in less than befitting quarters, I'm looking forward to sleeping in a soft four-poster bed. And then, for breakfast, I'll have a fine wine and some excellent ham.
You don't miss any chances, do you?
You betcha.
So how did you pull this off?
Did you think that Gerbrand came by his fortune through honest business? Of course, he never got his fingers dirty when it came to really shady deals. He had a helper for that. Of course, I caught on to a lot back then. Gerbrand finally got rid of me. He was probably afraid that I knew too much.
You never told me about that.
You never asked me.
What about Gerbrand?
He has enjoyed the good life for far too long. He was living here in the lap of luxury while I was forcing down meat bug stew. I have no idea where he went from here, but he'll never get a foothold in Corinus again. I'll see to that. If you're looking for him, you should try the Harbor District.
What about my share?
Looks like you haven't forgotten everything I've taught you after all. But you're right. I couldn't have done it without you. Here's your share.
Forever.
But no, he insisted he knew better.
Show me your ware.
I must beg your pardon for my poor selection. A man in your position is certainly used to better.
I'd have gone about it differently.
I don't believe this is gonna change.
Has anything exciting happened?
The entire city is abuzz with it. Do you remember Lothar, the Paladin?
Maybe.
Anyway, he's dead. Murdered out in the street. They're blaming the mercenaries, of course.
Nothing surprises me anymore.
I've got my own opinion about that.
Show me your...
Since the mercenaries did in the Paladin Lothar, the Paladin's inspections have gotten a lot tougher. I hope that will ease up once they've hanged the murderer.
Insisted he knew better.
There you are again.
I've got a few skins for you.
A sheepskin? You didn't go slaughter some farmer's sheep in the pasture, did you?
I wouldn't dream of doing that.
Wolfskin, that's good. A warg skin? Those beasts are tough. Ah, even a shadow beast skin. Those are worth a lot. What the hell is this skin?
I ripped a troll off for that one.
That is worth a small fortune. Good work. Come see me again when you have more.
It's all just gossip.
How are things in town?
If the orcs really show up to besiege us, it's gonna get unpleasant around here. There's only one ship, and the paladins are guarding it. And I don't think they'll use it to rescue the citizens.
Is there no other way of getting out of here?
No, none of us can leave this island without a ship.
I'm no better off myself.
Show me your...
I've got my own opinion about that.
Do you really believe that?
That was quite obvious.
Enos held what Beliar had done, and he also destroyed the land and showed.
Show me your way.
And Enos spoke to him, and the human became his subject. And Enos gave unto him.
I'm gonna buy this book as well. I do have 2 now, but one of them... But the reason why I want 2 is because reading it gives you mana, and I need another one for a quest. So that's why I want 2.
But with it, the trees
I was at your
and
hut in the
animals
Valley of
were also
Mines.
washed away.
So it's still standing?
And
Yes,
a deep
and I also know
sadness
what you wanted there.
overcame Adamos.
Did you find it?
If you mean your pouch with the lumps of ore, yes, I have it.
You're a
And thus
fox.
spake
You know
Adanos
that.
to his
What
brothers,
else could you have wanted in that
"Never
old shack?
again
There
shall
isn't
you
anything
walk
else.
upon my
Do you have it
land,
with you?
For it is
I'll give you
sacred,
100 gold
and
coins
so
for it.
Shall it be? But the
No,
human and
but
the
I have a
beast
lump of ore
waged
here.
war
Also
upon the
good.
land of Adonis, and the wrath of the gods
Why did you
was
leave it
with
there in
them.
the first place?
I had no idea that ore was so valuable here in Corinus. For
And
one
the
measly
human
piece of
slew
ore,
the
you couldn't
beast,
get so much
and
as a place to
entered
sleep
into
back in the penal
Beliar's
colony.
realm.
In the harbor city, they'll practically bash your skull in if they find out you have ore on you. I hope that I'll get it
Adanos
back
saw
soon.
that order and chaos were now unequal.
Give
and
me
he
100
bade
gold
Enos
coins,
to take
and I'll
his
give you
divine
your ore
power
back.
from the human.
Deal. Here you go. You're a real friend. Thanks a lot.
And Enos, in his wisdom, did so.
Gonna talk to Vatras later.
Hey! Will you stay in the city now?
One of us has to be here if Vatras leaves the city. One more thing I wanted to say to you. That really was a heroic feat that you accomplished in Jarkandar.
Unfortunately, I'm still not
And
finished
so
with
he
my
bade
tasks here in
Enos
Corinus.
to leave a part of his
but I am
power
sure
in
that
his
you will
realm
master them as
so that he
well,
might
Preserver.
restore it to the
We'll
human
see.
if the beast should return. And Enos, in his wisdom, did so.
Now look, someone is out of the prison.
Someone's gotta do the work. Someone's gonna do the work.
Beat it, convict! Canthar told me what a nasty bastard you are.
So even though I'm a
These
mage,
are bad times.
I'm
Beat
not
it, con-
respected.
That's
You're a
not
convict
wire.
from the mining colony. I won't sell you anything.
That's not what my husband thinks. Really? How interesting.
You're a convict from the mining colony. Scram.
I hadn't seen it.
And nobody cares what happened to Sarah.
Go away. Don't tell me that.
Show me your wares.
They never should have let it get so far. Now one of the mercenaries has actually murdered a paladin. Something had to happen one of these days.
Everybody knows by now.
I got the rum from Skip, but he gave me no more than 2 bottles.
Damn expensive, that. Who does he think he is?
Really?
Well,
How interesting.
give it here then. I can't give you much for it now. This here's gotta be enough.
Really? How interesting. Honestly, I myself.
Hey! I've got some honey tobacco for you.
It is a great pleasure doing business with you.
Can you make me a prophecy?
Yes, time has progressed, and I shall give you a prophecy in return for a few coins.
How much?
For a paltry 250 coins, I shall risk a glance through time for you.
Tell me about the future.
All right, son of knowledge. I shall now enter a state of trance. Are you ready? You shall force what is nobody's destiny but yours through fire and snow, through ice and flames, men in foreign armor, a swamp, lizards, they await you. That's all. There's nothing more I can see.
Hear ye, inhabitants of Corinus. By the explicit order of the Honorable Lord Hagen, the following decree is hereby enacted.
Everybody knows by now. That's an open secret.
Oh, here you are again.
Why aren't you in jail?
I have been released. As I already told you, I am an influential man in the city. Now word is out among the merchants that you are a convict. A regrettable affair. Now you won't be able to get even a piece of bread here in the marketplace. I could, of course, sort things out for you. Shall we say 500 gold pieces?
Honestly, I witnessed it myself.
Have you come to pay?
You don't say.
I haven't got enough money on me.
Then get it. Have you come to...
Don't tell this to anyone.
I haven't...
Have you come to...
All right, I'll pay up. You leave me no choice.
Good. Then I shall see to it that your reputation with the merchants rises once again.
Show me your wares.
Take your pick.
That's terrible.
I've got to go.
Suit yourself.
That's an open secret.
That's not what I heard.
Show me your wares.
You don't say.
I want all mana potions. I'll even take the strength potion.
Honestly, I witnessed it myself.
Really? How interesting.
Show me... Show me your...
It is an honor to me that a representative of our holy church should show an interest in my wares.
Look at this guy talking sweet to me now. Look at this guy. No.
Show me your wares.
Okay. Now. Let's go to... owner's farm. To learn about Bennett. I can learn about Bennett just by going to the prison and talking to him, but I want to do it the more natural way, by going to the farm and stuff.
Has Pardos come back?
Yes, he's inside, resting. Thanks for everything you...
Never mind.
Wait, I'd love to give you a reward, but I haven't got...
Forget it. How's the situation?
Malik has disappeared and taken everything and everybody who would work for me with him. He said he was headed for the mountains. He couldn't stand it here anymore. The hordes of monsters pouring out of the pass every day into the high pastures are really getting to me. If at least I had a few helpers or mercenaries. There was even one who was willing to work for me. Changed his mind, though. I think his name was Wolf.
It'll be all right.
Without Malik, Nothing gets done around here anymore. If something doesn't happen soon, I'll have to give up my farm. Hopefully he'll come back soon.
How's it going with you?
Hey, if it isn't my rescuer. Thanks again. Now I can just relax all day.
All right, I'll be moving on then.
Wait a minute. How's the hunting?
It's getting crazier out here. Meanwhile, dozens of these snorting animals have come out of the pass. Under these circumstances, hunting is getting harder and harder up here.
What's new?
What are you planning to do with Bennett? Oh well, I don't really want to know. You'll find out soon enough what it leads to.
Nothing there. Why aren't you working?
Haven't you heard yet? The Paladins have arrested Bennett.
What happened?
Well, we were in the city to shop when all of a sudden we heard a scream. Someone yelled, "There they are, get them." Boy, was I scared. I took to my heels and ran like the demons were after me. Bennett was right behind me. I don't know what happened, but when I got outside the city, he had disappeared. I must have lost him in the city.
So why was Bennett arrested?
Murder. Bennett is supposed to have murdered a paladin. What nonsense. I was with him the whole time.
So why don't you go to town and explain the whole thing?
They'd stick me in the slammer as his accomplice. Nah, certainly not in the current situation.
Situation?
You know, Onar in the city. That's bound to come to a bad end.
How did the mercenaries here on the farm react?
Well, I don't know exactly what they're planning, but some of them are really pissed off.
I can understand that.
If it were up to them, they'd rather attack the city today than tomorrow to get Bennett out. Talk to Lee. Maybe there's something you can do.
Himself was after him. You hardly know the first of these days.
Has anything significant happened lately?
The land has become quite unsafe. Now no one ventures beyond his own fields. It's been a long time since any of us have been to town.
You could do about it differently. You hardly know the first of these days.
Have you got something for me to do?
Have you seen those black hooded guys creeping by here? Those people give me the willies, I'll tell you. When I was at sea, I saw some pretty curious things, but those fellows really scare me. They went in the direction of the bandit camp in the mountains at the southern end of the valley. Maybe you should go there and check on those guys and do away with them.
That was obvious all along.
That's no secret.
That's not what I heard. Is it really true?
I've got my own opinion about that.
That's been known a long time.
Everything all right here on the farm?
You sanctimonious bastards from the monastery aren't welcome here.
Interested in some more old coins?
Sure. You still have any?
A few.
Thanks. Here's your money. Bring me all you can find.
You mustn't believe everything you hear.
Everything all right with you?
You saved my ass, man. I'll never forget that.
What do you want to do now?
I think I'll load up on grub first.
And then?
Who knows? Maybe I'll go back to the mining colony. Someone should keep an eye on the orcs. Otherwise, they'll all show up on the doorstep without warning.
Ah, it's good that you've come.
What's up?
I found this in the old chapel. It's a magic rune. I think it will teleport you straight back here to the farm. I thought you might be able to use it.
I've come from the Valley of Mines. The castle there was attacked by dragons.
So it's true. Lars said that rumors about dragons are circulating through the city. I didn't believe it. What about the paladins?
They've been thoroughly decimated.
Good. Maybe that will make Lord Hagen move to the Valley of Mines with his men. The fewer paladins stay here, the better.
What about Bennett?
So you heard about that? The bastards have locked him up, just like that. As if I didn't have enough problems with my own people. Now I have to take care of the paladins too.
What will you do about Bennett?
I don't know yet. A few of the boys would like to run to the city and knock Lord Hagen's teeth down his throat. Luckily, we don't have enough people for an operation like that. And besides, it's not my style.
Are you going to stay here and see what happens then?
Certainly not. Lars is still in the city and trying to find out how we can get Bennett out of there. Until that happens, I'm trying to calm my people. I only hope that Lars doesn't take too long.
Can I help you in this matter with Bennett?
Sure, a bit of intelligence and sanity certainly wouldn't hurt in this matter. Enos knows there are enough idiots running around here. Go to the city and see if you can find a way to get Bennett out of there. But don't be too long about it. I don't know how much longer I can keep the men under control.
Any news about Bennett?
No, we still don't know enough.
Do you really believe that?
You don't have to tell me that.
So, everything okay with you?
All's fine. The water mages led us safely out of this accursed valley.
And what will you do next?
I'm gonna continue to fight for Lee, and someday, we're gonna leave this island.
And then?
We shall see. If the war is still raging, we'll go up against the orcs. But that remains to be seen.
Patrick is back.
Yeah, man. I had almost given up hope.
Hey, do me a favor.
Yes?
Spare us both your speech of thanks.
I wasn't going to thank you at all.
But
I was just going to tell you that you're a damn cheeky devil. Stay cool.
Okay. Let's go to the monastery. Not gonna talk to Wolf yet. First I wanna talk to Malik.
You just have to listen.
Show me your wares.
Certainly, brother of the ring.
Nobody wants to know.
Now, I believe I mentioned it before.
That's really not my problem.
An interesting detail about Orlan. When you come to him as a novice, he will try to scam you. But if you come to him as a mage, he will give you a room for free. Just as if you were a brother of the ring.
That was obvious all along.
So, it's interesting how he doesn't like novices, tries to scam them, while he respects mages.
I'd have gone about it differently.
That was no big deal.
He even has like a unique dialogue. Being like, wow, you're a mage, you can always sleep here for free. So Lutero gives you a key for this chest to loot that rune. And yeah, you can only open that chest as a mage. You know what? I think I can show that dialogue as a mage to get a free room. Just give me a second.
You listen to the wrong people.
How much do you charge for a room?
I would never dare to take money from one of Enos's earthly representatives for my services. Here's the key to the upper rooms. You pick one for yourself.
So yeah, there's the unique dialogue.
Hey! Show me your wares.
I love how well armed this guy is.
May Inos watch over you always.
Hey, you. I see you belong to the Magician's Monastery.
Yes, why?
Can you use another worker there? I wouldn't know where else to turn.
Where do you come from?
I used to be captain of a big whaler, my boy. The sea is my home. My ship, the good old Magdalena, was sunk by pirates a few months ago, and now I'm stranded here. All I ever wanted was to go back to sea. But since I've come here, not one schooner is called at this accursed port. The only ship which is anchored in Corinthus is that blasted war galley of the king, and they don't take on anyone. So what else can I do? There's no work for me in town. I've tried everything.
You'd better get off the road.
Don't worry. I've already noticed that the wilderness out here has become damn dangerous in the last couple of days.
Do you know anything about the hooded figures?
No, but I have a bad feeling about those guys. Be careful if you run into them.
Do you know where the others are?
Gorn seems to have coped with his stay in Garan's dungeon very well. In any case, he wanted to go to Lee and see what was happening on the farm. After the grub they serve in the dungeon, he's probably stuffing his face right now and putting the mercenaries' provisions to a real test. Diego mumbled something about a reckoning. No idea what he meant by that. But I suspect he's in the city. You know him. Always there when there's something to be had.
How did you get to the monastery so fast?
What kind of a question is that? I crept through the pass and made my way straight to the monastery. Admittedly, it was never easy avoiding all the monsters making themselves at home on this side of the valley, but ultimately I encountered fewer problems than I expected.
That was obvious all along.
Who told you that?
Teach me the third circle of magic.
Yes, the time has come. Enter now the third circle of magic. New spells await you. You will need them. For evil draws nigh, and it can be thwarted only with the power of Innos. I have now taught you all of the circles that I can pass on. Karas will instruct you in the higher circles.
Teach me.
It's a bad business.
May Innos protect you.
Never gonna change that.
I'm not telling you anything new.
I never would have thought.
Teach me.
That was obvious all along.
I always act in the name of Innos.
Teach me.
Justice will prevail in the end.
I do like Ice Block.
Why haven't I heard about this before?
From this guy.
That's what I said.
Hey. Teach me. Hey. I want to learn the fourth circle of magic.
It is still not finished.
Teach me.
I like skeleton. I'll take the skeleton.
How are your studies coming along?
The enemy has many faces. Which of them presents the greatest danger for the monastery is awfully difficult to determine.
That's nothing new.
Hey, you! Show me your way.
Do you really think? That's just what I said.
Let's make skeleton.
Those are all just rumors.
I'll probably use that one instead of
Could have told you that before.
goblins.
Justice will prevail.
Mana cost 60.
Why haven't
For
I
goblins, it's 20.
Someone will have to pay for it.
So it says in the scriptures.
I need a few things.
This guy usually gets all the materials you need for rune creation. So if you don't have something, he should have it in his inventory.
doesn't see that, I can't help it.
That's nothing
I've come from the old Valley of Mines.
What do you have to report?
The enemy has formed up there with an army of orcs and dragons.
We have already learned that from Milton. But what about the king's shipment of ore?
The mine they are digging for Garand in the valley cannot satisfy the demands of the king.
The days are becoming grayer, and the light of the sun is ever weaker.
I was attacked by men in black robes.
I know. Those are the Seekers, henchmen from the nether realms of Beliar. Beware of them. They will try to take possession of you. Once possessed, you will no longer be yourself. Only here in the monastery could you find help then, so be careful. I have asked Karas to look into this matter. He will certainly win some further insight soon, which can make us see clearer. Here, this rune will bring you directly back to the monastery if you need our help. Remember, we must offer resistance, or we shall all be doomed.
I've found a strange almanac.
Really? What kind of an almanac is that?
I'm not sure. I thought you would know what to do with it.
Forsooth, that is very disquieting. I am glad that you brought it to me. That was very wise. I assume that there are more of these. Go and find more of these books of damnation. I suspect that it is an instrument of the Seeker's power. They use it to control the lost souls of their victims. They obviously write down the names of those whom they are planning to possess in these books. Listen, I am giving you this magical letter. It will show you the names which are written in the books. Find those victims and bring me their books. I shall dispose of them. But first, you ought to show at least one of them to Karas. Maybe that will help him in his studies. Do not make the mistake to try and destroy them yourself. You are not ready to withstand their power. Do not get close to the Seekers, or they will take possession of you. If you still find yourself unable to resist their call, come back to me as fast as you can. Only here in the monastery can your soul be saved.
Is there no protection against their mental attacks?
That is possible. Karas could know something about that.
Let's check out his magical letter. So these are NPCs I need to find. Now this magical letter, it also updates in the next chapter automatically, and it will show more names later in the game.
I have come to take the Eye of Innos.
I see that you have received an authorization from Lord Hagen himself to bear the Eye of Innos. I am afraid that I have to disappoint you. We have fallen victim to a treacherous plot of the enemy. The Eye of Innos has been violently taken from these sacred walls.
Who could be so impudent, Master?
Evil is cunning, and usually works in secret. Only rarely do you see it emerge to pursue its evil machinations in broad daylight. But these days, it's a different matter. The enemy now shows himself openly in the street, in every home and every public square. This can only mean that he no longer fears any adversary and is not going to shrink back from anything. One of our most faithful followers, a candidate for the high robe of the Magicians of Fire, has changed his allegiance unexpectedly, and in an alarmingly evil manner. Pedro, the enemy has taken possession of him, thus inflicting a terrible defeat upon us. Pedro has forced his way into our most sacred halls and stolen the eye. I fear that he simply spent too much time by himself, outside of the gates, and thus beyond the protective walls of the monastery, exposed to all lurking dangers.
Where did the thief flee to?
Pedro knocked down some of the other novices who tried to stop him and disappeared into the morning mist. Many novices have gone after him to bring the eye back to its place unharmed. If you want to catch up with him, you need to hurry before Pedro disappears out of your reach.
Not so fast. I have another task for you.
And that is...
Now that you belong to the Brotherhood of Fire, you must also fulfill the duties that come with being one of us. The Church is not only concerned with the affairs of magic, it is also the final authority in the administration of justice, as you know. The latest case brought before us opens up a bottomless abyss and must be dealt with once and for all.
Isn't that the militia's business?
The militia is responsible for the city alone. This affair has far-reaching consequences.
What's this about?
There is someone in the city who has sold falsified shares in the ore mines of the former penal colony. These papers are utterly worthless and of no importance, really. Still, they have the potential of stirring up trouble among the people, which we cannot afford to happen right now. The swindler is supposed to have approached all of the most reputable traders in the city and the country, and has evidently managed to sell his counterfeit mining shares to some of them. Find this evildoer and bring him before this panel. In such hard times, we must not suffer swindlers and plunderers. We must make an example of him in order to deter the rest of the mob.
I'll try to clear up the matter.
One thing more. When you visit those traders, do not let them know that you are looking for mining shares. I think they probably want to sell them on, and certainly would no longer offer them to you if they realized that you are dealing with them on behalf of the church. Do you see?
Yes.
Then get to work. I wish you much success, brother.
Is there anything else you want to tell me?
No, not at the moment, brother.
One more little thing. Stay away from the roadside shrines. We have heard that some of them have been desecrated. No one can say what effect they have now. It is not your task to solve this problem. The paladins will take care of this matter.
You have to feel sorry for the poor guy.
Inos enlightens all those who recognize his wisdom.
You don't have to ask me that.
Hey, you!
Brother, you cannot lose any time. You must hunt down Pedro and return the Eye of Inos to the monastery. If the eye is not retrieved, we shall all be lost.
Is there a way to protect oneself against the mental attacks of the Seekers?
No idea. I still know too little to answer that. Ask me about it later.
Hey, you! Any news?
Yes. Well, you've probably noticed those black-robed figures.
I've met them.
This brings us to the core of the matter. At the moment, we're observing a very rare constellation of stars. To be more exact, the sign of the ox currently stands in direct correlation with the sign of the warrior. I suppose you know what that means.
Well, to be honest...
Yes, I see. Well, I cannot explain the entire background to you now, but it definitely signifies a great change, and I do not like change. Therefore, I want you to get me a book from town. It's called The Divine Power of the Stars. You may have to rummage around for it a bit, but I'm sure you'll find it.
What's in it for me?
What do you mean?
I'd like to know what you'll give me if I bring you the book.
Nothing. What were you expecting to get? If you have time to run an errand in town for me, it's even your duty to help me.
I've got the book for you.
So you've changed your mind after all. Very good. So where do you have the book? You may withdraw now. I shall retire and study.
Found anything out yet?
Well, I cannot be completely sure, but the current constellation of the stars seem to indicate many dangers.
What kind of dangers?
Well, the structure between the worlds seems to be very weak. It only takes a small portion of the power that would be necessary otherwise to tear a hole in this structure. Demons could use those portals to enter our world without encountering resistance.
never knew that.
Any news?
Yes, the enemy has succeeded in planting a traitor in our sacred halls. He has stolen the Eye of Innos, one of our most important artifacts, and that is only the tip of the iceberg. The enemy has apparently already entered the city.
What do you mean?
One of the paladins, Lothar, was murdered in the street. In broad daylight, it has gone too far, but I fear that is only the beginning.
So it says in the scriptures.
Where did the thief go?
I don't know that. He rushed to the gate like he was possessed and then disappeared. No matter where he hides, under what rock he crawls, the wrath of Innos will strike him and scorch his black soul.
Has the murderer been caught?
Fortunately, yes. It was one of the cutthroats from Onar's farm.
Who?
I don't know his name, but there are certainly a few figures among the mercenaries of whom you could expect such a deed.
What's going to happen now?
We will pursue the thief no matter where. We will hunt him down and see to it that he receives his just punishment.
For that, we would need to know first who the thief is.
We will soon find out, and no matter how long it takes us, we shall find him. This I swear by Innos.
So it says in the scriptures.
Do you really believe that?
May Innos.
Don't tell me you didn't know that.
You should have known better.
May Innos.
Bad business.
So it says in the scriptures.
Hey!
You should have known better.
He never would have thought of that himself.
I never would have thought.
May Innos.
Justice will prevail in the end.
Those are all just rumors.
Hey! Do you know where Pedro is?
Do you think I'd be standing around here if I knew where the renegade was hiding? He must pay for his deeds. I hope we manage to get the eye back. You have to help us. Find him and bring back the Eye of Innos.
Now, I want Ice Block spell. I like it, and I want it.
No one must violate the divine order.
Teach me.
You listen to the wrong people.
That's totally obvious.
Is it really true?
Those are all just rumors. That's just what I said.
It was obvious all along.
No one must violate the divine order.
If you're headed for the monastery, you should talk to Milton. He'll surely be able to help you.
What do you think? Would they let me in there at all?
Perhaps, but the way you look, I can hardly imagine you in a novice's robe.
Enough of that nonsense. Novice's robe, indeed. It's the grub I'm after, or I'll be forced to eat the bark off the trees next.
Have you seen a novice walk past?
Yeah, sure. He went, that-a-way. He jumped into the water off the bridge and swam like a shark was after him.
What's going on here?
What do you mean?
You're the second fellow to rush past here like he's been stung by blood flies.
Who was the other guy?
He looked like one of those brainy novices from the monastery back there. You can say what you like, but somehow those guys aren't quite right in the head. Just look at their silly clothes. I wouldn't want to be caught in the street at night in those.
Be careful what you say. I used to be a novice in the monastery myself.
You poor swine. That certainly explains a few things. No offense. Be on your way. You're a busy man. Don't let me keep you.
Where did the other one go?
He ran up that way like lightning.
Somebody should teach you some manners.
Now don't be offended. All right, if you absolutely want to fight, you can have one. So show me what you've got, novice. You'll regret this. You'll regret. Ah, my head. I'll have nothing to do with nasty thugs.
Now, the reason why he thinks I'm a thug is because of this spell. This spell resets the taunt. When you ask NPCs for a duel. It's kinda like as if you attack them first, without telling them, hey, let's duel and stuff like that. So he behaves now as if I just attacked him, without giving him any reason. Which is fine, I don't really care.
Nothing to plunder. Nothing to be had there. Nothing to plunder. Nothing to plunder.
For now, I'm just gonna avoid Seekers, but later, when I get better spells, I may deal with all of them.
Hey, you! Have you seen a novice pass by here?
A lot of peculiar figures passed by here today, including those two jokers up by the stone arch. A while ago, a novice from the Magicians of Fire was with them as well.